Hello, and welcome to Gehenna Gaming, where we tell dark stories and support inclusivity in gaming. And welcome to episode 6 of Massive Nyarlathotep, where we are still in New York City. Tonight, we are super excited to be jumping back into our story. We have taken a little bit of a hiatus, but for you, it should have only been a week or so. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors, Eldritch Foundry, Norse Foundry, DriveThruRPG, HP Lovecraft Historical Society, Infinite Black, and more. They're all... Bless you.
Thank you.
Skins on the truth.
I'm sorry, I tried to hold it so bad.
You're good. All right. Before we get started, I would like to thank our sponsors, Eldritch Foundry, Norse Foundry, DriveThruRPG, HP Lovecraft Historical Society, and Infinite Black, as well as the creators of Call of Cthulhu and Massive Nyarlathotep, Chaosium. Today, we are giving away another $50 Eldritch Foundry gift card if you're watching live on Twitch, as well as a set of dice from Norse Foundry and a set of books from DriveThruRPG for the Call of Cthulhu 7th edition system. So make sure you use those appropriate codes in the Twitch chat. And if you are watching this on YouTube or listening to the podcast, watch us live on Fridays.
Get yourself on Twitch. I almost said Steam. That was not the correct one.
One day, no. But before we jump right into things, I would like to introduce you to our wonderful cast once more, starting with...
Hello, my name is Rhea Sunshine, and once again, I'm proud to tell you I'm still playing Love LaRue.
For now.
Hey.
Don't touch my sister. Hi, I'm Salem Sharp, and after a very too long hiatus, I think, I'm back to playing Dr. Oliver West.
Olufemi Shoamimo, and by day, I am playing Adrian Beaumont. Oh, we haven't introduced who I'm playing by night yet. We've met him, but I don't believe we've actually said his name.
But by night, you are. Spoilers.
I was just wondering if we were going there yet.
I know. We were all waiting.
I'm Sharon Paris, and I am playing Ophelia Click.
My name is Tyler Sutherland, playing Nicholas Porter.
Fantastic. Let's jump right into it, shall we? Where we last left off, you had an overwhelming number of clues that you had collected, found, been presented with. You've witnessed the horrible murder of your good friend Jackson Elias. You have met with some interesting characters. You've taken some time to decompress. You have contacted several people to try to get to the bottom of this, including the publishing agent for Jackson Elias. You've met the publisher for Jackson, as well as a few other people while you were making some phone calls and getting some introductions, such as one Eric Carlisle. But before you can go off to meet with folks or do any of that, there is one unfortunate, very important matter of business to attend to, which is the funeral of Mr. Elias. It is Friday, I believe.
I believe so. I have it written down.
Thank you.
I believe so. I think all I have written down is January 17th.
We went over it a minute ago.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Friday. We will start with you already at Cypress Hill Cemetery. It is about 2 p.m. in the afternoon. There's a light snow shower, but it's not as cold as it has been the last few weeks, honestly. There's a small turnout. There's a few folks in addition to you. Jonah Kensington is there, whom you met at Prospero House. You can see a few other people who you don't know or recognize. A man with a slightly younger woman, and of course the priest to preside over the funeral. You do notice, however, a little ways away, a slew of reporters. 3 or 4 looking to maybe question the friends of Jackson Elias after the ghastly murder. But
No.
I could cause a distraction and get you out.
No. I mean, we're here to pay respects, not have interviews. As much as distracting as you are, no.
Of course.
the priest says some polite words. It's clear that he did not know Jackson Elias at all. And you, as you would know, he was not exactly a church-going man. So that is not surprising. But you do get an opportunity to speak yourselves as he kind of finishes the routine parts of the ceremony. He says, if anyone in attendance would like to share some words, so those who knew him closely.
I think Oliver just like sinks a little bit more into his seat.
He does look directly at all of you. Jonah Kensington kind of like, you see him start to step forward, but then like kind of think about it for a minute and then just kind of
Love will stand
sit
up.
back a little bit.
She adjusts her dress and walks up to where he was speaking. She thanks him quietly and then turns to face the crowd of people. I knew Jackson for relatively a small amount of time. But he helped me a lot in a very scary situation. Jackson Elias should be buried a hero. Someone who never stopped looking for the truth. That is how my friend will be remembered. And I hope some of him stays with me. Thank you, everyone. And she quickly gets back down and sits down. Her face is a weird middle ground of almost about to cry and completely stone, while still being... It's a very confusing mix of emotions happening all at once on her face.
You see Jonah Kensington looks at you and nods very warmly. The other gentleman seems sad, but professionally sad, if that makes sense. And the young woman with him doesn't seem... You aren't sure who they are.
How much of an age disparity, excuse me, age disparity is between...
Could be daughter.
Okay.
Oh.
The priest looks... Would anyone else like to say a few words?
I'd like to say something.
Please.
So, Ophelia walks up to the podium. I mean, not happy, obviously. Yeah, Jackson was uncovering a lot of things, important things, dark things. His body of work will last and herald like the truths that he uncovered. And I thank him endlessly for the work that he's done and what he's unearthed. And I'm saddened that what got him in the end was his work, but I don't think he would have wanted it any other way. And I thank him for what he's done.
Could everyone give me a spot hidden roll? Ophelia, you can go ahead and roll in your D10 again to add to that, or to subtract from it as a bonus. So roll the 2 and then roll one of them again after you have that number.
Oh, damn it. I roll it again.
And just roll one of them again, and then subtract it from your number to give you a bonus. Still no?
No.
And she's back, ladies
There
and
we
gentlemen.
go. Hashtag get Ophelia new dice. Love.
15 under 30.
Okay.
58 over 48.
Okay.
60 over 52.
Okay.
40, well, no, 37 over 27.
Okay.
Not bad.
This is a somber moment, but 69 over 51.
I was about to say, if you don't say 420 after this, I'm quitting.
Love, you are the only one who notices a few of the reporters perk up at Ophelia's little speech, and you see them scribbling notes furiously.
Can I see who they're with?
You don't know like what
Okay.
newspaper they're with. One of them is a woman, however.
Rebecca.
A woman reporter? That's not possible.
Who you think may be Rebecca Schosenberg, the one you identified previously.
I, quietly and unnoticeably as possible, tap Oliver's thigh, and then, I believe Erica Sosenberg is here. She's one of the reporters. Don't look, but
Not looking.
a few of them reacted to what Ophelia just said.
Well, yeah, she told everybody that he uncovered something. He was a guy who was really secret with his writing. Wouldn't you be interested? I wouldn't be too worried about it. I mean, it doesn't seem like they knew anything about it. I say we play it off like he found a new death cult somewhere. And
My bad.
It's fine. Your words were beautiful. It just
Thank you.
reporters will eat whatever they can find up,
Very
even
true.
if it's not true.
Have the reporters been pointed out to all of us at this point?
I think down the pew it gets passed
We-
like telephone.
Telephoned it down.
Okay. Then I would like to approach the podium or dais or whatever. Shoot. I was hoping I could come up on the fly with a joke that would... I'd like to charm everybody. Can I roll charm?
Yes, you may.
Okay.
At a funeral, the perfect time.
You know,
Anything
Whoops.
helps.
Wait, I think that was a bad... is that it? That's not good. I'd like to push that. I'd like to... May I push? I got a 65 over 61.
yes, you may.
Here, hang on.
Got a little luck spend going on here.
Thank you. That is... very good. 92. So, I would like...
Adrian, what do you get up there to say?
So, I say, yes, I'm going to come up with a joke. I say, the funny thing about life, about death, is that you can... Wait, hold on. Okay, let me start over. What's funny... No, this is good. Okay. When you stop... No, wait. Hold on a second. Oh my God. Okay, the thing about death is you only do it once. But living... And then I'm going to go sit back down.
The priest looks relatively mortified.
And so do we.
Jonah Kensington is fighting a chuckle.
Adrian,
I'm sorry.
I maybe
I've
stick to
rehearsed-
coffee.
I've rehearsed that joke so many times.
It's
I
fine.
don't know
It's
what
stage
just
fright.
happened.
It's fine.
I'm sorry.
Kensington, no, go ahead.
Nicholas starts to stand up and wobbles. He is visibly drunk. Does not like funerals. Probably told you that ahead of time. Probably told each of you once, like, this is just for the funeral, independently. And over time, that aggregated into quite a strong effect.
Did he warn us that? Did he say, like, don't let me do anything, or nope?
Nope. Just
Fine.
you probably noticed him with a drink that he had squirreled away at some point. And if you asked, just said, "This is fine." And I just sit back down.
Okay. Kensington gets up and just says, everyone here knew Jackson in their own way. Some of us longer than others, but all of us knew him as a man of integrity and a man of unquestionable curiosity and his own special brand of morals. While I am very saddened that he is no longer with us, I unfortunately am not surprised that he lost his life to the thing that he loved the most. He was always interested in dangerous pursuits, and I'm glad that he saw so much success in his efforts until the end, and that we all got the chance to be a part of that in one way or another. And then he kind of looks like he wants to say something else, nods, and then just goes and sits down. The priest says a few more words and then, performs the whatever ceremonies would be appropriate in those instances and departs. And you are left standing by your friend's graveside alongside Jonah Kensington and, as I said, another man with a younger woman with him.
Oliver reaches out to Nick.
Yeah. Just hand it over.
Yep.
It's empty.
And Kensington walks over, says, "Thank you for coming. I know he would have appreciated it. I do as well. We didn't all know him. I certainly knew him the longest of most of us, but I never got to share in one of his adventures like the five of you did. Before I'm going to return, I have work, unfortunately, but I do want to introduce you to Mr. Ramsey." And the other gentleman steps up, introduces himself. He's like, "My name's Carlton Ramsey. I was Mr. Elias's lawyer, and his friend. I knew him relatively well over the last few years. Essentially, as long as he's been a writer, I also represented him, as his literary lawyer. And you can tell that he and Kensington have a very friendly relationship. So it's his job was probably very easy. I, as the executor of Mr. Elias's estate, Jackson's, there's the reading of the will. You are the only 5 named in it.
Us.
Yes.
Did he have no family, no next of kin?
No. He wasn't a family man. His parents are no longer with us. Yeah. If you are amenable, we can head back to my offices and take care of that. Or if you need some time, we can reschedule. I don't have anyone else to cater to in this instance.
Now's
I
fine.
don't have any problems doing it now.
Okay. My offices are in Harlem, 124th and Lenox Ave. He hands you a business card. You'll be able to find it very easily. I'll meet you there in a few hours.
Sounds wonderful.
Is the young woman with him, is she just staring at the ground? Is she following along with the conversation?
She's following along with the conversation. She doesn't seem very invested.
What's the body language between her and the lawyer?
Friendly. Like she's just standing next to him quietly.
Okay,
It
so
looks like he
there's-
just wanted to bring a friend along with him, but
Okay.
this is probably a daughter or a niece or...
Yeah, I didn't know if there was like any like arm over the arm or like just standing by.
Just standing near him.
I'm curious, so I will at least. Adrian will say, I apologize. I'm being terribly rude. Adrian Beaumont, and directed towards the young woman.
Oh, she's like, oh, hello, my name's Willa. I'm Mr. I'm Mr. Ramsey's niece.
Oh.
Did you know Jackson as well?
No, he just said he wanted some company.
I see.
Thank you for coming.
Of course. And she just kind of goes back to being a wallflower.
Oliver understands that body language and lets her be.
Ramsey's body language in general is kind of nervous, but it's not like a uncomfortable nervous. It just seems like he has that kind of energy. So he is fidgety. He is a little, he talks fast and kind of loses track of what he's saying. But yeah, no, you can tell he sad his friend is dead, but they weren't super close. Like, you are probably closer to Jackson Elias than he was. And Kensington definitely was. So, yeah, he says, well, if that 2 hours or so.
Perfect.
It sounds good.
Okay. I will see you at my offices. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are the reporters still around?
They are, and you can see they seem very keen to chat with all of you if you want to engage them or not.
I'm going to hang back if it looks like Nick and I are going to be. I'm going to let Adrian and the ladies handle this.
No.
I will approach the reporters.
Okay, Adrian and the lady.
As love cracks her.
And she's gonna approach Rebecca.
Yeah, you approach the female reporter that's there. She's young, about 27, like late 20s.
Excuse me.
Before, let me be
Excused.
clear. Love doesn't approach, like, walk straight up to them.
Mhm.
She makes it very clear that she's willing to talk to Rebecca through her facial expressions
Yeah.
as she's walking away.
Okay, so you're all leaving,
Yeah.
but you make eye contact. This is, so I will say it's a small, dark complexion, dark hair, very serious face, very intense look. She immediately clocks what you're putting down. And kind of steps back and out of where the reporters are, who are all like, "Excuse me, can we ask a few questions? Is this was Mr. Elias's murder related to his work?"
Privacy for
Was
the
there-
family. Privacy for the family. Move.
And they do. But you see her slip off and like
Mhm.
parallel you towards the street.
Perfect. And I'm just gonna pull out a little cigarette and walk close to her.
Okay.
To where it just looks like I'm took a step away before I'm leaving. I'm having a cigarette, and someone's standing relatively close to me.
Okay. Adrian, are you talking to the other reporters, or are you following Love?
I think I'll keep them. Or wait, did you say they're leaving?
No, they didn't leave. Love blew them off, so they turned to
Yes.
the rest of the group.
Okay, then yes, I will keep them entertained by telling terrible jokes. Apparently.
Okay, so you're just gonna chat with.
I'm just
Okay.
exactly.
They do
Not-
ask you
not
some-
give them anything
Okay.
on just kind of what's the word? Not dissuade, but misdirect them
Mm-hmm.
anytime they try to ask something specific. It's like, that reminds me of a story of blah, blah, blah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's just-
kind of a thing.
they ask you like how you knew Jackson, what if you traveled with him, if you were involved with any of his
Evade,
work,
be
and
evasive.
you can tell them stories about like being in Peru with him, but
Mhm.
keep it really vague and yeah, they kind of move on eventually, but
You're doing the thing that you did with that old lady
Yeah.
in Lima.
Yeah, that's
Where you
that's why I'm
just
here.
continue talking until they walk away. That's the apparition's
My
power.
superpower. The who?
the who, the what?
The what? The huh?
Does anyone else go with Love?
I was gonna say Oliver actually pulls Nick aside, but that can happen after you have your.
No, go ahead.
Are you okay?
Oh,
I know you said you didn't like funerals, but I don't fucking either.
I mean, I knew him a little bit. He was everything Adrian said. Better.
Yeah.
It was
No, I'm not trying to pry if you don't want to. I've always taken you for the strong and silent type, but that is especially now. It's not strong and silent. You seem uncomfortable.
You just don't
and-
like funerals. I mean, you're supposed to.
No,
like, go to them and
I understand. The last funeral I went to was my parents, so I get it. It's not a great feeling.
my big head just goes up and try to pull you down to your very tall shoulder, and just for an extra minute before we leave, just rests.
Okay. Over on the street, near cars are moving through this area, but it's relatively private. The young woman approaches you and says, "Miss LaRue,
Hello.
my name is Rebecca Schosenberg.
Oh, you're Rebecca.
Yes, I'm a reporter with the New York Times."
I know. I've seen your work.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm actually very familiar. I'm quite a big fan.
Thank you very much.
I don't know who writers. I don't know what they look like.
Yeah, we were the faceless amongst the servants of New York City, I suppose. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Of course.
Excellent. So you knew Mr. Elias
I did.
from his past travels?
I believe so. Yeah, it was a pretty crazy trip. We met while I was on vacation, actually.
Where was that, if you don't mind me asking?
She pauses for an obnoxiously long time.
She just stands there waiting with the pen out.
I think
Somewhere in South America?
somewhere in South America. I go so
okay.
many places.
I'm doing a little bit of a follow-up on some of Mr. Elias's work because I'm curious. I'm not sure if you're aware, but a few years ago or earlier this year, there was a rash of murders that were similar in nature, and there's a man currently incarcerated for them. His name is Hilton Adams.
Holy cow, I haven't heard anything about this.
And to be I reported on the case, and to be honest, I've never been fully convinced of Mr. Adams's guilt, and especially with such similar murders happening so recently. I wanted to see if I could find any information that may point towards the real killers in those cases as well, and to keep the public safe.
Absolutely.
You can tell she's bullshitting. She's
Yeah.
not lying very well about that. She genuinely cares about this case.
Okay.
But you're not sure why.
Well, if there's anything I can do, I would love to help you. Like I said up there, I'm all about the truth.
Are you familiar at all with Mr. Adams's case?
I think I haven't heard really about it, but I think I've heard some people talking about that name. I could probably ask around if you wanted to meet up at some point.
Yeah, would you be able to come to my office? The offices for the Times?
Absolutely. But do you think that might be dangerous?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay. I've read a lot. I've seen a lot of plays and stuff. So
no,
I just want
absolutely.
to be careful.
Absolutely. We could meet up honestly anytime over the next early next week.
Absolutely, of course.
That would
If
be
you want to
fantastic,
take
yes.
this, and she pulls out a little piece of paper and writes her home number on
Okay.
it and hands it to her. And when she does that, she wants to kind of catch Rebecca's hand. And I want to try and charm her with body language.
Okay. Go ahead.
55 under 75.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm all about love.
That's my sister.
She does. She seems a little taken with you.
Yeah, and it's one of those moments where the hand lingers a little long, and it's questioning whether it's because of the sadness or if she's just tired. And the eye contact that's there, there's this underlying thing of like, I like you a lot. Your work is incredible.
Okay.
And she gives her number and says, I think I have to go though.
Oh, of course. And my condolences for your friend as well. If I do hear, hopefully, if we can come to determine what happened here, we can help Mr. Adams and, of course, also help your friend. Although I heard that the killers were mostly brought to justice in this case.
That's incredible.
So, she seems a little flustered, and she just goes, I'll talk to you soon.
She leans in and does that kiss
Air
the
kiss.
air, next to her. But for a split second, it looks like she's going in, and she kisses beside her face
Okay. All right.
as she walks away.
Okay. For the rest of you, Adrian effectively misleads and disarms the reporters to the point they kind of give up. They thank you for your time and they start to leave. One of them does notice you talking to Rebecca and is like, God damn it. And you see him like kind of pissed, like trudging off, like getting in a car.
Hey.
But
Be a pretty woman. Be better.
And you are left with a little bit of time to head over to the offices of Carlton Ramsey down in Harlem.
Just pat Oliver's very tall cheek. Go for the knee.
I think at some point I'd like have sat down
Thank
and
you.
let you sit. I keep forgetting that my character is tall because I am not. This is a strange feeling. Someone like talking up to me. No. Oliver will very much like. It's very weird. Like it's very clear that he's not used to someone being this close to him, so his movements are kind of stiff. But like if you lean, he'll let you. And when you get up, his face is bright red, and he'll just walk away.
It's not super important, but Adrian will go to the grave and kneel beside it and just sort of touch the snow on it and take on a serious expression, and say, "My friend, we've avenged you, but that's not enough. We'll continue as you would. We'll find the truth. I swear it." And then I'll get up and walk off.
Adrian's a serious guy.
Yeah. Seems like it. Okay.
I was just kicking snow the whole time.
Ophelia over in the corner making snow angels.
It's like,
An appropriate place to do it.
Took his knees, started a snowball fight.
Did you all want to ride with me over there?
do we all take our own cars to the?
I would presume you probably carpooled since you've been spending a decent amount of time together. You
Well-
know that Adrian can probably fit all of you in his car.
Please.
We're environmentally conscious.
Yeah, yeah, carpooling. Adrian, Gus is there waiting at the curb, but I don't know if everyone traveled with Adrian or separately.
If the invitation was there, I would have
Yes,
loved it.
absolutely. Absolutely it is.
Okay. And you load in, and Gus says, "Where to, sir?"
But what was that address again? We're going to,
Harlem. It's 124th and Lenox.
as the doctor said.
"Certainly, sir." And he takes off, driving relatively expertly.
Hey, what did you say to that reporter?
Oh, nothing much. I just kind of. Well, actually, I'm going to her office at some point. She's very curious in the case. The similar murders to Jackson's death. She's very curious.
the other ones with the guy, Hilton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said that name.
Mhm.
She's looking for anything to help prove that Hilton didn't do it. And that was not what I expected to come out of her mouth.
Yeah.
And
Usually a reporter kind of thrives on case closed.
right.
Unless she wrote the first article,
Did she?
and unless and then now feels guilty about
Right.
incriminating someone.
She did say she reported on it.
Ah.
It's in one of these.
Well, it sounds like an opportunity to. I mean, clearly, she wants information from you, but perhaps in a tit for tat sort of a situation, you can get some from her.
Absolutely. I was hoping that would be the case. There's something about her that I just don't trust still.
Love, how do you do that? To look at people and it just turns on like it's magic.
What does? What turns on?
You just, how do you talk so well to other people?
Oh, I don't know. There's, and you see, Love's face goes from that like playful demeanor that she had, and for a split second, there's something behind that. Before she puts it back on, she's like, it's really about knowing the people, and if you don't know the person, you just have to find out how they want to be talked to.
You sure it's not those puppy dog eyes you gave your dad whenever you wanted something when you were little?
It doesn't hurt to be beautiful. It's only an advantage.
You know what, love? You are correct. It does not hurt to be
I
beautiful.
will drink to that, and I
will
assume
too.
there's drinks in the back.
Yeah, it's your
And then
it's your
I'll
car.
be like, and then I'll look over at Nicholas and say, "Actually, this has gone."
Gus,
bad,
can you drive a
actually."
little slower? Thank you.
Certainly, sir. And he takes
Good.
he takes you down through the streets, and you arrive in Harlem. And just give me a moment.
You're not going to say it in your announcer voice?
No.
You made it to Harlem.
I want to do it, but I'm afraid I'll spike the mic.
I know. I'm so sorry if I've been spiking the mic. I've been louder than I normally am for Oliver.
And you make it to Harlem.
Ooh, more paper.
Give you a more useful street map.
Thank you for our unsaid sponsor, the trees that died to give us these beautiful props. We appreciate you. Your sacrifice was not in vain.
So you arrive. Takes you a little bit to get there, and it's a decent, nice area. Office is small, neatly kept building. Relatively smaller building from some of the residential areas around here. Yeah, it's a quiet street. Not too much going on.
Love walks up to the door and just waits for someone to open it.
Is it open? I mean,
No, the door is not open.
Okay.
Do you walk up and open it?
Can we just
yes,
open
I
it?
will. Oh, but by open I meant unlocked, not.
Yeah, it is unlocked.
Okay,
yes.
then yes, I will open it.
You open the door,
Gentlemen.
And you immediately clock the young woman that you saw at the funeral, Willa, sitting behind a desk. Some sort of secretarial role, although she did not introduce herself as the secretary. So maybe this is part-time. Maybe it's
She's a secretary's apprentice.
maybe. She smiles and nods, says, "Welcome, please come in. Can I take your coats or?"
That's so kind of you. I don't think that I can hang this up myself. Thank you so
There
much.
is a coat rack literally right next to you as you walk in.
Yeah, I'll put my...
Shrug.
She throws it up onto the coat rack.
And she says, "Please come with me."
Thank you.
And she says, "Uncle Carlton is expecting you. He's just warming up the office and getting comfortable."
Does it look like a big, fancy office or a
No.
more neighborhood lawyer?
No, this is a neighborhood lawyer. This is a very small, neatly kept. There's literally just like the secretary's desk, a very short hallway with like maybe a storage room, and then his office.
If you want to find it on the map, it's 20.
It's quite possible that they also live in this building, or at least he does.
Did you just?
I was gonna show you because I was like, no, no, that wasn't. I quit.
Pavlov is
Cut
rolling
that.
around right now.
Sorry.
No, you're
No.
good.
That was not my intention.
You enter the room, sit down. Carlton, thank you for coming.
Hello.
Would anyone like a drink?
Yes.
How about water?
Water, bourbon?
Strong.
Bourbon.
A bourbon would be lovely.
Thank you. Ma'am?
Water for me.
Sir?
Same.
Okay.
Same.
Willow, would you get 3 waters, please? She says, yes, Uncle Carlton. And she leaves. And he pulls a bottle of bootleg bourbon out, pours 3 glasses, hands one to each of you, takes one himself. Like I said, my condolences. I've known him since he started publishing, but you were all likely a little closer with Jackson than I was. Sorry that we've met under these circumstances. I have heard of all of you, especially when updating his will a few years ago.
How recently did he update his will, if you don't mind me asking?
It was probably about a year after your adventures with him down in Peru.
I will confess to you,
Oh.
it's a bit of a surprise, I believe, to all of us, to be included in the will. Even, especially that we are the only ones
Yeah.
included in the will.
To be honest with you, Jackson didn't have a lot of friends. His work either kept him traveling or making, I won't say enemies, but adversarial contacts amongst the police forces and the other groups that he interrogated on occasion. I can tell you that I truly enjoyed hearing some of his exploits, but a little too adventurous for my blood.
How much have you heard?
I mean, he's I've read all his books.
Mhm.
He's told me about his adventures with you in Peru. I'll be honest, some things I think he embellishes, and some things I think were fantastic if true.
You know, adrenaline can do a lot to a body. and
Absolutely.
memories.
Absolutely.
Especially an author.
Absolutely. Someone with that creative bone in their body.
You got to sell books, right?
Brain does a lot.
Did you say police adversaries?
Just, sometimes he would be questioning local police in different areas about the work, a case that he was investigating, or, a cult that he was looking into, and
Rile up some feathers.
he has a way of getting what he wants one way or another.
Police, I have found, also don't like
Being
their
questioned.
toes being stepped on. If they see something as their case, having an author solve it.
Yeah.
I've met no other group of people with such fragile egos as police. Anyway,
Can confirm. That said, there's a reason I don't usually practice in courts. But yeah, no, Jackson came to me just a few days ago to update his will again and make a few changes. So,
wait, a few days ago.
yes, he seemed,
Different.
yeah.
Sporadic.
Honestly, I think he was afraid. He was afraid of something. And I guess that caught up with him.
He didn't say anything that he was afraid of? Did he mention?
No, he didn't really want to talk too much about what he was looking into right now. He was all business. He just needed to get some things updated and then get off to somewhere.
What was
What-
he?
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, you first.
I was going to ask, what was he trying to get updated in the will? If he changed it to just us 5 about a year ago.
So he added U5 a year ago. Disbursement mostly. He gave me full power of attorney, which felt odd. He was a man in his prime. I argued with him a little bit about it, which is when I started picking up the vibes that he was afraid of something. But he gave me full power of attorney, so I have the authority to liquidate his assets. He instructed me to use those assets to create and manage a fund in his name.
Pardon me. Do you remember exactly the date that he changed his will. It wouldn't happen to be after the 16th, would it?
Was it he? And you see him flipping through the paperwork because everything would be dated and everything, whatnot. No.
It was before.
How many days before?
I guess it would have been like the 14th, 13th, or 14th.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it was just a few days before his murder. So
Yeah. Sorry, but I have a letter from him a few days after, and he exhibited the same. I don't want to say symptoms, but
what's the date on that letter?
the 16th
Of
December.
this is January. So it is after that.
Damn.
That's why I was like,
No, you're right.
I was like, it is the 17th
I didn't see
currently, so
December.
he died before the 16th.
Yeah, I didn't see December. Shit, guys.
Yeah, it's been a month
Yeah.
since that letter.
So he was long gone.
But no, he gave me some pretty clear instructions that I still do not understand. So let me just go through what
Yeah.
he said with you, and then I'll read the will.
Okay.
Gave me full authority to liquidate his assets in case anything happened to him, and if I were to create and manage a fund in his name, requesting that any friends of his who are willing to attend the reading make use of this fund to continue his investigation of the Carlisle expedition. I'll make any necessary disbursements from the fund to pay for travel, accommodations, living costs, equipment purchases, legal bills, medical expenses, clothing, anything basically related to travel or furthering the investigation he was doing. Also acting as a central point of contact, should you be traveling and need to reach out or do anything or make any hires or anything like that, you can use the fund for that. I can coordinate for you here in New York. Yeah, and then just this note. Do you want me to?
I would.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
One moment, please. I will warn you. It is a little morbid.
Well, Jackson did write it.
Yeah.
It's true. Greetings from beyond the grave.
Oh, dear God.
By now, I'm sure you've learned that what I've left you is a whole heap of trouble. I understand if you just want to walk away from the whole thing. Hell, I'm dead now, and I'm still wishing I could have walked away from it. But I couldn't do that, and I don't think you're going to either. You've been there for me in the past when I needed you. It's too late to save me, but I hope I can count on you at one last time. I've been traveling all over the world, pulling at threads. Believe me, I'm onto something big. Carlton and Jonah can give you some of the details. They've got some of my papers and notes, but there's still so much to follow up on, so much that still needs to be done. I'm assuming I've been murdered, and I'm counting on you to bring my killers to justice. If I just got mowed down by a trolley car, well, consider me embarrassed and you off the hook. But I suspect it'll be something else, and it's not going to be easy to follow it out to the end. You don't need to finish my book. None of you can write worth a damn, and I'm sorry for all this. I wouldn't ask if it weren't important. Remember me, your friend Jackson Elias.
Yeah, that was him.
Okay.
As I said, he seemed afraid of something, but he also seemed to know what he was doing.
Right.
Sound mind, sound body, all that.
Right. Sound mind.
I will let you know the total value of the assets to be deposited into the fund is about 50,000 USD. Yeah. Provided you agree to the terms set in his will, that money is yours to do with as you wish toward the ends of whatever he was investigating. This Carlton-esque, what is it? Carlisle expedition? I almost said my own name.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Well, he was right about a few things. And that is, it's going to be tough as hell to not do this.
And yet we will. We accept.
Okay. As I said, I can act as your agent in this matter. So any purchases you make, or I can distribute funds ahead of time to provide anything you need immediately: travel, lodging, accommodations, food, equipment, hired hands, things of that nature. Either purchase and provide receipts, or we can wire funds.
This
Where
seems
needed.
almost too perfectly timed. Forgive me. We're headed out, I think tomorrow, to go speak with somebody out of state. It shouldn't be too much trouble. It's just a day trip. But
Now we get
I don't
paid
know.
to do it.
this seems almost too perfect. And I don't like things that are too perfect.
I will say, I don't know where Jackson came into his money. I didn't ask. He tended to collect things on his travels, and they made him quite wealthy. He has been living off of these assets for quite some time, funding his own travels, and he has traveled quite extensively. He seems exasperated by that over the last few years, and didn't put that much of a dent into them. So I guess if the timing has been good for him for quite some time, his unfortunate passing is simply, well, if you were friends of his, I'm sure you know what he gets up to. So,
Yeah.
God,
and perhaps you have your own adventures to relate to.
I wouldn't say adventures. I say vacation.
I prefer my vacations to be more relaxing than what we did in Peru. But that's just me. Do we have any other business we need to attend? I'm not trying to cut this short. It's been lovely meeting you, but gruesome business and all that.
If I may, briefly, one moment. There's something else in here. Yes, Miss Click. He also left this for you. It is a signed book jacket.
Yay.
That's incredible.
Oh, that's right. He signed your books back in Peru.
Yeah.
That is the book that he wrote based on that journey.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Hmm.
The Hungry Dead. Oh, Jackson. Well.
Carlton, thank you. It's more than we ever expected.
I mean, don't thank me. Unfortunately.
No, you still did something. And because of this, you are, if you're willing to be our central point of contact.
That is those are my orders. I follow the direction of my client, whether he be living or dead.
Your niece,
Yes, Willa.
Willa. Is she a secretary here, or?
She does act as a secretary for me when needed.
Okay.
But yes.
If you're going to be our point of contact in this particular thing, I would probably safeguard her a little bit more.
Yeah.
Good to know. Thank you.
Of course. I don't
This-
want to see anyone else get hurt.
Should I be concerned?
The stuff that Elias obviously got into
Yeah.
bleeds out outside of his. And now that instead of 1 point of contact, it now apparently has 5.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just be careful. You should be fine. It'll be fine. We're fine.
Reassuring. But no, I don't have anything else at this time.
Right. Back to New York.
Well then, I'll stand up. Sorry, I'm give him the glass. Say thank you for the drink and for the news. And
course.
I
Thank you.
suppose you may be hearing from us.
Oh, that reminds me. I'll take a piece of paper, and since you and I seem to be the people with the houses that people tend to stay at, I will give him both Adrian and my phone number.
Okay. I would say if you're going to be traveling, just give me a few days' notice to make sure everything is in order. But I can draw up all the paperwork and handle all the visas and everything for you.
Sounds perfect.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you again. He stands, shakes all of your hands. It's a pleasure meeting all of you under unfortunate circumstances, but you all seem like people Jackson would be friends with.
That's
I'm going to choose to take that as a compliment.
I meant it as one. Okay.
when we're back in the car, Oliver's kind of bedside manner just completely drops and goes, okay, so taking account into dates, he changed his will after, and I've been carrying this in my inside pocket because Oliver's been reading it again and again. Descend into Madness letter was December 16th. This was a month after he went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this got better. I think this, if anything, got worse. So was this really Jackson? Was this really him rewriting his will?
That's an interesting point. Because Jackson called me to tell me to come to his room.
Yes, he did.
And he sounded strange, but not like that.
And Carlton indicated that he seemed of sound body and sound mind when he changed the will.
I think Carlton is trying to. It's just in my professional opinion, he's trying to distance himself a bit. He's trying to. What's the word I'm looking for?
Create a healthy separation between
yes,
home and
he's,
work life.
Well, not only that, he's trying to find a reasonable explanation for how Jackson was, because think about it. If we did not experience what we experienced in Peru, we would also read this as scared, as horrified, as adrenaline talking, and not him. But we saw him in Peru, and we saw what we saw in Lima. This isn't scared. This is insanity. And this is a slip of the mind. That does not get better. Nick, you know that better than anybody. That doesn't just go away.
We saw... What was his name? Larkin. Would you say possessed? That's not a medical...
Yeah, definitely not just heroin.
So could Jackson have been encumbered when writing?
You think he went through what Larkin did?
I think he went through something, and that doesn't look what we would consider normal.
I mean...
I'm not going to completely question getting access to a lot of money, but it is a bonus.
I'm not saying we don't do this. I'm trying to wrap my head around what we're doing.
Can Oliver, can you make me a raw intelligence check?
What do I have for intelligence? Ooh!
Yeah.
I read that backwards and got scared. That is a 19 under 75.
Looking at the letter from December,
Mm-hmm. Our fun letter.
a thought occurs to you. Jackson was incredibly intelligent. He was a very good writer. And if he wanted people to think he was crazy, he could do it very easily.
Huh.
You can't tell because you don't know his writing that well. But
I know someone who does.
you do. Well, not his handwriting.
Oh.
But Jackson seems like the type of person who, if he wanted to misdirect someone or write something in a cipher that appeared crazy or like that he had lost his mind, he could.
Can I make another kind of, maybe another intelligence to see if there is some sort of hidden message in this one? To see if there is a cipher, some pattern, some...
That wouldn't be an intelligence check. That would be a library use check or an occult check or a Cthulhu Mythos check.
Let's see what I have the most in.
Probably library
What's your
use.
stat in Ophelia Click?
Well, yeah. Library use is 20, occult is 14, and then mythos
Gust of wind
is
takes the letter out of your hand.
1.
And blows it
Oh, I
into
am not
Ophelia's.
above.
No.
I think
Sharing.
Oliver, because this is the 20s and we don't have seatbelts, I just like move over next to Ophelia and like, do you want to help me with this?
Oh,
you seem
sure.
good at puzzles.
Yeah.
This has got to have some hidden meaning. If he wasn't actually crazy, and I don't
Let me
think he
see it.
was. I'm gonna go ahead and do library use just for shiggles. Yeah, no. I'm gonna push that. I'm gonna push it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, still no.
Slightly better.
Yeah, it's 61 over 20.
Can I see the letter when you're done?
Out of her cold.
He hands us a
red
black
hands.
light. Do you allow her to roll library use?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, or occult. Oh no. Norse Foundry, why?
Are you serious?
Um,
I did library use, right?
Uh-huh. What's your library use?
75.
Oh my god.
What'd you roll?
75.
That passes.
That's
Oh.
success. Yeah.
Okay.
That is a success.
It's so high.
So just going through this letter, which I don't believe I have text for in here, so I'm going to read directly.
Yeah, I'm very bad at reading handwriting, so.
You're good. Many names, many faces, but all the same and toward one end. Like a collection of masks, what face is the real one? Is there a real one? What's underneath? Need help. Contact everyone in New York. They're everywhere. More people on our side. No cops, though. They've got men on the inside, and they've got men on the inside. They are the inside. They are the inside everywhere I've been. Military, probably same thing. So much power at stake. Lurking inside like a cancer. The librarian always has the answer if they don't gut her like a fish. Too big, too ghastly. These dreams, like Carlyle's, he's gotten inside my head. In my head. Any head. Head. Crazy. Call head shrinker and check that psychoanalyst files. What if we're the same? Am I becoming him? Can't be. All of them survived. They'll open the gate. Why? What's in it for them? Do they think they're doing something else? The great deceiver, the power and the danger is real. Who is really evil here? All of them. Something scribbled out. Some of them. Pawns. Who is the grand... I can't read that. Pawn sacrifice's safest move. Direct attack against the Black King would be insane. Ha! As if that would stop them. Some stuff scribbled out. Whomever. Impossible to play to a draw. And then you see a bunch of symbols. There's a grid with a bunch of symbols on it. Many threads begin unraveled. The books are in Carlyle's safe. Did he use them? He must have known. Coming for me. Will the ocean protect? Fat chance. They're at work everywhere I've been. Surely they're in New York too. Immigrants, Chinatown, Harlem. I can't read this part. Need allies. Endangering everyone. Ho ho, no quitters now. Far too late for that. Should have quit long ago. Fool's crusade. Shine a light into the dark and tell and make readers believe. Must tell and make readers believe. Should I scream for them? Let's scream together. So,
well, what caught my eye was the books in Carlyle's safe.
you notice a couple things about the letter from your roll. The ramblings in it almost seem intentional. There's definitely something bothering him when he wrote this. The handwriting doesn't feel quite like his. He was definitely upset. You don't know why, though. When there are clearly things he was trying to impart as information in this that he was trying to obscure, but how much of it is ramblings to obscure the information and how much of it was also him kind of going on tangents because he was upset, you're not sure. It seems like someone who hadn't lost their mind, but was clearly terrified of something.
But he was trying to hide it as if he was insane.
Yes.
It's a long shot. Could I try a psychology or psychoanalysis to filter out some details?
Yeah.
Can
absolutely.
I also try a psychology roll since we've been doing some psych work together?
Yeah. I'll let you both roll.
That's a 39, so it's under 50 psychology.
Okay.
A 63 is a little bit higher than my 11. I'm not great at psycho. I'm a lot better at like the biology part of this. I'm gonna leave that one to you, friend.
You see some weird things at work.
Yeah. Gods, I can agree. I think the two things that stand out to me are, at least in that, the books that Carlyle had, his interest in the Carlyle expedition, and it seems like what they reported they were going to do, they weren't actually going to do. They were doing something else. Something about opening a gate. Who knows what that is. And the cops being untrustworthy, which, I mean, sky blue. I don't trust them anyway.
What did you get?
Success, so 39 under 50 on psychology.
Yeah, 63 over 11. Don't look here.
Starting to sober up, starting to kind of get your wits back about you. You read through it. A couple things stand out to you. Like you were just discussing, you have to be careful about who you trust. Something is in Carlyle's safe that he was trying to get his hands on. And there is a very real threat out there hiding. The references to masks, many faces. Very clear that he did not know who he could trust outside of you, 5, and Kensington and Ramsey. The rest of it reads like a man who is very certain that what he's investigating could get him killed.
Gotcha. I relay all of that as best I can to the group.
Yeah.
The one thing that you can't piece together,
Yeah.
and you aren't sure if it's intentional ramblings or something more serious is when he mentions having dreams like Carlyle's. That sticks out to you a little bit.
Love, maybe that's dreams you can, I don't know how you would ask, but you're so good with words. Figure out if Erica knew anything when we go a little bit later.
Yeah.
Knew anything
Related
about
to
dreams?
for
Yeah, if her brother had any strange dreams.
Yeah.
or if any of them in that group. I mean, we can ask the ones that are apparently still alive.
But the ones who are still alive aren't public. Like it's believed by the public they're all dead.
The public understands, and Erica Carlyle has confirmed that her brother's expedition was slaughtered in Kenya.
But
Any information that they are still alive, Jackson is apparently the only person who knew that besides you 5 now, because Kensington and Kensington.
well, if we end up finding them, we could always ask. If they don't try and stab us first.
You all are going to be at my performance, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Wouldn't miss it.
I just got really worried that this woman was going to attempt to kill me.
Well,
Other than the expedition, do you have a history of altercations with this woman?
No.
That's not a definite no. Okay.
She's just awful.
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
your fights have always been so petty.
Well, I wanted that dress last year. and
Uh-huh.
Never mind.
I'm not gonna get you started.
It's fine. I don't like her. I don't like her family. They've always been hoity-toity better than you. Even for people like us.
Is that the case? Okay. Because Adrian has interacted with.
Yeah, you've always gotten that vibe.
Okay.
You less so than Love.
Okay.
You do come from a very wealthy family with a lot of money and power in international trade
Yeah.
that Love doesn't have. Money, yes. The power,
Okay.
not so much. So you were always treated with a little bit more. I will say you were treated with more respect, but it was very clearly. No, I wouldn't say that actually. You were always treated with a little bit more like even footing. The Carlisle siblings were very easygoing prior to Roger's disappearance. The parents were much more, you are a connection we can use versus you are not.
You are a human
I'm saying,
being.
well, come now. I've always found Erica to be perfectly pleasant. I haven't had these interactions with her until, of course, she lost her brother, which I think is understandable, honestly.
I didn't know her too well while her brother was alive, honestly. So that may be the case.
I think she'll surprise you.
Keep an open mind.
She didn't even talk to me on the phone. It was her butler, Adrian.
Would you let your butler answer things?
Yes. But I would... if someone was calling to invite me to something, I would at least talk to them.
Well, I tell you what, Love, with your beauty and your charm and my presence, I am certain that we can do what it'll take to win her over and get you treated with a bit more respect.
Don't forget about your jokes, Adrian.
I have those as well. Have I told you all? In fact, you're actually going to love this one. No, wait. Okay, seriously. And then I don't know. And let's just pretend I butcher a joke.
The rest of the car ride is just you trying to tell us jokes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you all learned that Adrian's sense of humor is memorable for the wrong reason. Usually his bad memory.
I mean, I'll say, yeah, like every now and then you'll get where the joke is supposed to be going. Like you can see there's a joke in there, but I jumble everything up and start it over again. And
I'm going to look up to Gus's eyes in the rearview mirror just to see if he's heard this before.
He is laughing. You don't.
Gus
You've
knows this
made-
one. So okay, so he has a 12-inch pianist, right? But well, okay, so all right, a 12-inch. So a pianist, like a guy who plays the piano. You understand? That's
Yes.
important. It's.
And on that note, is there anything else you would like to do, or would you like to move on to the next day where you will be traveling up to Massachusetts?
Yeah, I say
As a group, we can decide, like, notes-wise, Hilton's family is in Harlem. I don't know if we have
Oh,
enough to act
shoot.
on other than just coming right away to their place and saying, hey, maybe it wasn't him. I don't think that would come off very well.
well, they maybe later, because we did find another murder like his
Right.
and that he's in jail for that he can't do. So either this is a copycat or he did do the murder. I'm leaning towards option number 2.
But, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Perhaps stopping by right now wouldn't be the best of ideas.
Yes, I don't think their family would appreciate anyone coming, much less me or Adrian coming down to Harlem to tell them their family member didn't do the crime. It would be the weirdest thing I could imagine if I lived anywhere other than where I live.
I will say, if you would like to look into Hilton Adams's case, you absolutely may. You have your contact at the New York Times that you can talk to. You could also go talk to the police, find out who investigated the case. There are newspaper records that can tell you at least who the investigating officer was. You could go talk to the family.
Which way are we leaning?
My vote, at least over here, is
Or-
to
Go ahead.
my vote is to find out some more about this before we just drop in on this family.
Sure. I mean, we're getting information from Rebecca anyway.
Yeah.
And if you happen to find any information on the investigating officer or anything, if we find that name, I could probably go talk to them pretty easily.
But there is this voice in my head saying that there is another option, so I'm going to listen to that first.
Hilton Adams is currently on death row in Sing Sing. You could also just go talk to him.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta, right, Oliver?
Do you want my honest opinion?
Well, I know you're going to say no.
Yeah. Then why did you ask?
Because I gotta, right?
Oh my god.
I mean, Sing Sing is not a nice place.
At least with us, please. This is not a you go alone. There are some things that even your face can't get you out of.
I
No,
could
I will say,
go with Nick.
what is interesting about Sing Sing is that the Carlisle estate is actually quite close to it.
Then shall we save that visit for when...
That's incredibly scary. But yes,
Also, in addition to Hilton Adams and your trip to Massachusetts, you had 2 other pieces of evidence you were looking into. Emerson Imports is in New York, and you have not been there yet.
That is, do we want to check that out today on our way back into town? And then go to Massachusetts tomorrow?
Since
and then
we're
the day
here.
after, since you already have this whole shindig with Erica set up,
right.
maybe we could stop by Sing Sing.
I would love that.
That sounds
Yeah,
like a
since we're
plan.
here, we should just do the New York stuff and then tomorrow.
You definitely can.
Yeah. You mind if we stop by a payphone? I need to call my neighbor to go take care of Molly if we're going to be out this late.
Of course.
She's a cat. She can take care of herself. But, like, It's an empty apartment building.
Okay.
I at some point stop by and like ask like the.
Gus literally pulls over at the next payphone he sees.
I feel like there's like in the next building over this very like nice elderly lady that I've come to like. I take care of her medical stuff in exchange for her cat sitting.
Absolutely. Okay. You take care of that.
Important.
Unless there was anything else you wanted to do with that phone call.
Nah.
Okay. For the rest of you,
Excuse you, my cat is an important phone call.
I know. I'm just saying. Trust me, I agree. For everyone else, doesn't take long, and you direct Gus toward Emerson Imports. Then,
Yeah.
okay,
Is
it's not that far away.
yeah.
Along the Hudson in Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, this is close to where I live.
It is,
That's upsetting.
You say it like that.
but it's along the river.
Mm-hmm.
It's in an industrial area. And as you drive through, you find yourself going past long, narrow buildings, warehouses with small offices attached to them. You know, particularly you, Oliver, know that these businesses are often fronts, smuggling, organized crime, etc. But some of them are legit, too. And Gus pulls up in front of yet another long, narrow building with loading docks at both ends. Just a warehouse piled high with freight. You can see like some people doing some work. There's a small office, kind of like one of those buildings that's like on a construction site where the stairs go up the outside to a door. And you see a small office says Emerson Imports on it.
And this was the card I found in Jackson's pocket.
Yes.
Because this looks at least to me like his handwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Same one.
Yes, it does.
All right. Do we just walk up?
Yeah.
Oliver will like very hesitantly knock on the door.
Through the glass window, you see a man probably in his 50s. You see a man in his 50s, a little heavier set, but it's that type of heavy set where it's muscles that have started to slowly turn to fat with age. Thick brown hair, neatly groomed. He doesn't seem to be not sleazy, doesn't give you that immediate vibe of organized crime or smuggling illegal goods into the city.
That's how you know he's good at it.
Yeah. That does not immediately
Picks
mean
himself
he's
up
not
from
in
an office chair, from a small desk, and walks over, opens the doors like, yeah. Hi, can I help you?
Hello. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you in the middle of the day. My name is Dr. West. I was a friend of Jackson Elias's. I'm
Slightly taller than me, African American, really friendly guy.
yeah.
Oh
What
yeah,
about-
yeah. He came here. He came here and asking some questions. I know. Do you want to step inside? It's cold as hell out here.
Yeah. It's
Come on.
freezing.
He invites you in. It's a small office. He has like a space heater going because they do have like the loading dock doors open at one side, so it's letting a lot of cold air into the warehouse. And he says, he gestures and he's like, sorry, I don't really see large groups of people. Arthur Emerson, how can I help you?
I was weird. I don't know if you heard.
Yeah.
Mr. Elias was killed a few days ago.
Oh, I'm sorry. You were friends of his?
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. He was nice. He was
Yeah.
a nice guy.
I just wanted to know what he was asking about. He has left us, I guess. Questions about his new book.
I mean, honestly, he was just asking about import records.
From From where, if you don't mind me asking?
Mombasa. I'm the U.S. agent for like one of the major exporters from Mombasa to the United States. He was looking for connections with like imports coming in from there.
Does the name Silas Nakwana ring a bell to you?
Yes, it does. He is the so he is not my contact, but a lot of the imports coming in from my client go to his business.
And where's his business?
It's called the Juju House. It's kind of like a African cultural shop in Harlem.
In Harlem. Damn, seems like everything's there nowadays.
Yeah, Silas is the manager there.
Incredible.
Huh.
Anything we should know about Silas? Does he seem legitimate?
Give me a psychology roll
Don't like
when
that.
you ask that question.
44 under 50.
You notice an almost imperceivable shiver, and he's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, that man makes my skin crawl. I don't know what it is about him. I told Mr. Elias the same thing. It's just something about him. I don't like it. But you know what? But my client pays well, so I don't worry about. I don't luckily have to deal with Mr. DeQuanway too much. So
One way. So, I keep reading that E is an A. Right. I wouldn't say last question because there's obviously a lot to do. Was there anything in particular he was asking about? Any sort of artifact or any sort of type of something, or just anything that Silas had to do with?
no, he was just I was not the first person he came to. He was checking with importers throughout this entire area to see who was working with goods coming from Mombasa.
So you gave him the name Silas, right? Like if he came here and asked about it, and you gave him the okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
No. He was specifically asking about Mombasa. I work with a client who exports things. He almost said a name and he stopped himself.
Can I?
And the goods only go to the Juju House. And I think he definitely was intending on going there and talking with Silas.
If I was watching, can I see what letter he was almost about to say? Just first.
It was an A.
Adrian.
Gotta go.
Gasp!
He's gone.
Okay, so he almost said a name that started with an A and then stopped himself, and he was like, "That's really all I knew."
Is that all? Can I tell? Is that all he knows, or all he's willing to tell us?
Go ahead and make a psychology roll.
95 is slightly over 11.
That's all. You think he's been telling you things beyond what he knows?
Awesome.
It's magical.
Oh my gosh, this is great.
But yeah, no.
Nick's like, this guy's an idiot.
Is there anything else I can help you with? Again, I'm sorry about your friend. He seemed really nice.
No, you've been more than helpful.
Actually, what state of mind was Jackson when he talked to you? Did he seem frantic? Was he normal?
Seemed like a reporter. Inquisitive, very curious. Asked a lot of smart questions.
When did he talk to you? Like, do you remember the date-ish?
Not too long ago.
This month, last month?
Last month.
Okay.
Or earlier this month.
Ah.
A few weeks ago.
Okay.
For certain. I don't know if it was before or after the new year, honestly.
Fair enough. A busy man like you's got a lot of dates to worry about. A lot of client names in his head. That's all I had to ask.
Great. Well,
think I'm
Anybody
good
else?
as well, but I did want to talk to you for a second. I have a couple pieces that I'm looking to have shipped to me.
to the okay, I can potentially help you with that, ma'am.
Wonderful, and I have your card, and now I know where you are. It's wonderful. I wanted to open business relations with you. These cargoes that I'm having
Sure.
imported are incredibly precious to me,
Mm-hmm.
and I would. And she like turns. She's like, I'd like them to be kept off the books. Yes,
I'm sorry, Miss
Miss Love.
Miss Love. I may not be the importer you're looking for in that case.
Can I see if he's lying?
Yes, you may.
Insight check.
79 over. I don't even know where it is. 10.
Over 10.
Mhm.
It's a few points.
Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. I shouldn't have bothered you with that. And she turns around and she's like,
Anyone else? Go ahead and give me a psychoanalysis roll.
Nick, please.
It's worth a shot. You got this. No. It's
Okay.
a 79 over 11.
Pretty good.
Fine, I got a 1.
But yeah, no. Let me know if I can help you with anything else.
of course.
Like she said, we have your address.
Take care.
Deuces.
What is this strange new greeting? So as we get back in the car, so that guy's definitely sketchy. Yeah.
What?
Like
He was so above board. I asked him point blank to keep things off the record for me, and he said he couldn't do it. He's very clearly above board.
I'd guess that he's probably more selective in the type of person he does underboard business with.
yeah, he might be above board for us. I think I mean if he was lying I couldn't tell, but I don't trust guys like him.
Importers?
Two well-groomed guys who work by the docks.
Oh.
When you work down here, it's very not when you don't have dirt in your hands, you assume that it's because he's got other people doing it for him.
It's possible, but it seems to me we have another lead, I suppose you would call it. We have another name, something to pursue.
And another address in Harlem.
Well, if it's a swell idea to set up that kind of import, if we are going to be moving around and
Yeah.
finding things,
Right.
might be nice to have them centralized.
I
Maybe
figured
some money can move his persuasion.
Yeah.
I would like to start heading home.
Actually, can I when Nicholas says that, I'm like, hey, I've got money.
Wait a minute. I'm rich.
Hold on. I have money.
Can I go back in and basically do what Love tried to do, except use my credit rating?
Ooh.
Okay, so you've all exited, starting to make your way down the stairs. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, hold on, I actually just need...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Tell him
walk
one of
back
your
up to the
jokes.
guy.
Butter him up.
I'll say what was communicated to you was done a bit clumsily, but perhaps it can be better conveyed with my friend, Mr. Jackson. I don't know who's on my bill. That's like a $5 bill.
Jackson would be a 20.
Okay. I know.
So-
Mr. Benjamin Shore.
No, Jackson's dead.
Too soon.
That is a 42 under 70.
Your credit rating's 70?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
You guys are getting paid?
You are too now. I mean,
He looks you up and down for a second and says, I'll be honest with you, I don't like to do anything under the table, but as long as what you're trying to move around isn't dangerous, I would be happy to help.
Absolutely. Let's consider this a retainer. And I'll slip him a fin. Slip him a bill.
He says, if you just have your people reach out to me, we can set something up.
Love standing outside the window.
The window just...
She's like pressed against the glass.
Okay.
Once we get whatever cargo I can store it if I need to. I can store it at the Guggenheim also, because I have my own like quarters in the basement.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
If that gets, not that I don't appreciate your offer, if that gets too risky for you at all, I own an empty apartment building.
I'm the archivist.
Awesome.
I own everything. Oh, we were supposed to do a seance.
You had talked about doing a seance.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. That's so much fun. We have to do it.
No, we
we
don't.
have to do it.
You also still have to go to Massachusetts.
Yeah, let's do that first.
We can do it on the way. In the cars.
Summon ghosts in cars. That's a great idea.
Well, you never know. There could be ghosts around right now. Or perhaps
It's true.
apparitions. Damn it, I wanted to do it with a straight
I gotta go. I have to leave.
So good.
Perhaps. Apparitions. So you do have a few options. You do still have to go up to Massachusetts to talk with Professor Coyles. Or Cowles.
Was it Cowles?
Cowles, I believe.
Cat.
Don't know where it went.
Ow.
Ophelia did want to
Ophelia.
perform a seance, and now you have a new lead, the Juju House.
Yeah.
Would you like to jump forward a day, travel up to Massachusetts, or is there anything else you would like to do in New York? It is getting late.
Yeah, let's go home and go to Massachusetts.
How long will it take to get to Massachusetts? Like 4
From New
days
York?
by train? Like I don't
No.
know.
No,
No.
it's a day trip.
By like what do we take?
A car
Car?
or train.
Oh boy.
Yeah, either
Yeah.
car or train.
Oh.
We could go by train and turn this into a murder on the Orient Express.
I
Like
the idea of
I
going by train.
guarantee Ian has shit planned.
Let's do train.
Let's go by train.
That'll be fun.
He
Planes,
booked passage on the next train up to Boston, which will have a stop near Amherst and near Arkham, where famed Miskatonic University sits, which is where Professor Cowles is currently a guest lecturer. So you take the train up to Massachusetts. Your train ride is uneventful.
Oh.
Not too much happens. You just sit back.
Can I
the
spot
newspaper.
hidden the keeper?
You just sit back, read the newspaper, relax, and get off at Arkham. Arkham's a quaint New England town. You see the massive buildings of Miskatonic University. A short walk from the train station. The surrounding town is mostly support. It's there for the housing for staff, housing for the people who take care of the town itself. But like it's an early New England college town, so basically everything here is dedicated towards the university.
Out of curiosity, as somebody who has spent a majority of the last years in school, would it be fair to say that Oliver has done at least some of his studies here, or at least a little bit of his residency?
So Miskatonic's not really known for medicine.
Okay.
It's more Ophelia would actually be more likely to
Gotcha.
be familiar with Miskatonic.
Heard.
Speaking of, you were the one who called and made this appointment with Professor Cowles.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a long hiatus, folks.
So, Yeah, you notice that the town is pretty small, but there is that coffee shop that he said he would make the meet you at.
Oh, okay.
Not too far away from the train station. Basically, like a walk directly between the train station and like the front gates of Miskatonic.
Follow me. I'm gonna just walk you guys over.
Ophelia, what happened to your voice?
I don't know. It just happens.
That is the voice you used when you called him on the phone too. Okay.
Do we all have to come up with fake voices?
Yeah, are we all doing
Oh,
this?
that should be fun. That's
Oh,
gonna be fun.
no.
Let's
Oh,
do
no.
it.
So the Grafton Diner is basically closer to the train station than the university and on the direct path between the two of them. It is not a far walk, and you are close to the time you said you would meet him. As you're walking with the group following you, nothing particularly stands out, nothing out of the ordinary. You do notice, you've been here a few times, and you do notice that it's quiet for this time of year. It's probably the cold, but it does seem a little more shut up than usual. Normally, you would see a lot of students around because they'd just be returning to classes after the winter break, really. But it's a little more subdued than usual in Arkham.
It's more subdued than usual in Arkham.
Out of curiosity, were you like putting on a fake accent the whole time and like, this is your real accent?
No.
Because like, it's totally cool if so, but like, I just wanted to say like props to keeping up the act.
So there's a thing with Black people. It's called code switching.
Okay.
So when I'm on the phone, that's my phone voice.
Mhm.
And then this is my actual voice.
Oh, it's like when I talk to patients.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Understandable.
you take on different roles and use a different kind of a voice when you're in one role as opposed to another.
Gotta survive, yeah.
I've never heard of that.
As you approach the diner, you do see a young professorial-looking man sitting just inside in the window, reading a book with a cup of coffee in front of him. Give me 1 second, and I will describe him for you.
Gasp.
What's his first name on the thing?
Anthony.
Anthony.
Professor Anthony Dimsdale Cowles. He's, I said young man, but he is actually in his 40s. Great big bushy beard. Ruddy faced, kind of heavy set, red hair. Looks very jovial. Very much that type of person who you always hear laughing at the bar.
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
That's what I was imagining.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Young
jolly.
Santa Claus.
Chris Kringle.
You see him laughing and talking with someone in the diner as you approach and enter.
Professor Cowles.
Ah, yes. Hello. I am not doing an Australian accent, by the way.
Oh, you've got
Aw,
You've got
try.
to.
I don't want to offend any potential Australians
I
watching
don't-
this.
Australians, please
My
write in
friend-
and
I
tell us
know.
that you want to hear Ian do an
Get
Australian
in chat
accent.
right
I'll
now.
record it
My friend's
for
gonna watch
Patreon.
it.
Yeah.
I'll record it for Patreon. Yes. Hello, Miss Click. Yes.
Yeah, so Ophelia Click. That's my name.
And then he sees the 4 other people with you.
And retinue. and et cetera.
Well, welcome. Can we get a larger table, please? And he does. They quickly like pull 2 tables together and grab some seats. This is a college student diner, so it is maybe a little bit lower class than 2 of you are used to, but pretty familiar for the rest of you.
It's my favorite place.
Could I see a wine list, please?
We have both kinds,
I see.
red and
Both?
white.
Oh. Oh.
Cokes all around. Cokes. We'll have Cokes.
Okay,
Coffee.
Oh, it's this kind of a place.
Certainly.
No, not that kind of.
Oh,
Pop.
yes. Pop. Of course, that's what I meant. Yes.
Oh my god.
Coca-Cola,
Coffee.
coffee,
Both.
both.
Do you have like any tea?
Yes.
Oh, whatever tea you have.
Okay.
Wait, is this a time period where Coke has Coke in it?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Very small amounts, but yes.
Yeah.
Boy.
Also, it is technically prohibition, by the way.
Okay.
Also, don't
Just
ask
a
for-
reminder
you're sitting
for the
next
wine
to
list.
a doctor.
I see. All right.
Just a reminder when you ask for the wine list.
I was just
A
kidding.
wine list?
They were just like, no. But the waitress does run off, come back with drinks, and Professor Cowles is like, so, how can I help you?
What are we here for again?
You made the appointment.
Oh.
The lecture.
Oh, to find we're here. We're here to find out what Jackson Elias was doing at the lecture at I can't say it. New York University Hall. That thing that he went to for the Cult of Darkness in Polynesia.
Oh, of course, yes. So, you said, what was your friend's name?
Jackson Elias.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar.
He's an
I have-
author.
Oh, yes, I've read some of his books. They've actually informed some of my work. He's a great writer. I have unfortunately not had the pleasure of meeting him.
He's dead now.
You gotta excuse our friend.
I'm
She
so sorry.
whenever she drinks pop, she gets real bubbly. So just,
I can relate, yes.
uh-huh.
I will say, I'm sorry. When did he pass?
When did he die?
A few days
A
ago.
couple days ago.
I'm so sorry.
Less than a week.
Were you were friends of his?
Yeah.
My condolences.
Hmm.
Well, as I said, I haven't met him, but I have read some of his books with relation to Polynesia, New Zealand, and some of the investigations that he did in the cults down there. But you were asking about my lecture,
Yes.
the one that I did in New York.
Yes, the lecture in New York.
I mean, I can probably give you a transcript of it.
Please.
That'd be incredible, actually.
That's way more than what we were hoping for. I love it.
I mean, I have my notes
Yeah.
from speaking. I can have a student, one of my teacher's assistants, transcribe them and give you a copy.
That sounds perfect.
Fantastic.
If I'm curious, sorry, I'm in a different realm of sciences. What exactly did you talk about in the lecture?
So my research is in. I have to find his profile again real quick.
Cult in Polynesia in the Southwest Pacific.
Yes, but there are specifics. Okay. So his specific research is in. Actually, yeah, that is actually all it says. Okay, never mind.
Oh.
Polynesian esoterica.
Yeah. The cults, the esoterica, the Polynesian cultures, Oceania, where I'm from, different cults, religious sects, and of course the different cultural and anthropological histories of them.
Excuse my ignorance in this subject, but do you have anything quite interesting about Singapore? Is that in the area? I'm not
I mean, it's
well-versed with geography.
it's relatively. I mean, it's closer than we are here, but not directly. No.
Okay. Silly question, my bad.
It's fine. But
There were some research notes that Jackson was working on in his next book. Does the Cult of the Bloody Tongue sound familiar to you?
Brotherhood, I think it was.
hang on.
That's not. I'm not directly familiar. That sounds. And he picks up the book that he was reading, and he starts flipping through it, and he says, So the cult that I was discussing in my lecture, just to summarize it a little bit, was a cult of the bat.
Bat?
Yes, the sand bat.
Once again, forgive my ignorance. What's a sand bat?
Oh, so that mythological creature that this cult worshipped. To give you the big details. I mean, there's plenty of different cults. We have a cult that worships this being called Cthulhu. With the cult of the Sandbat was the focus of the talk. Polynesian legends discuss them. Different tales talk about different cultures within Polynesia and the islands.
Did any of these cults have any kind of heavy mask symbolism?
Masks,
Or many faces, or illusionary of any kind?
It is said that some of the leaders of the cult could shapeshift into the form of bat-winged snakes.
Can I look around?
Yeah.
Predominantly at the tables closest to us.
Oh, it's pretty empty in here.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah. It's pretty empty in here.
Is there anyone outside?
You see people walking around.
Okay, but there's
No one
in.
watching you.
Okay, good.
Yeah, if that's what you were asking. There's no one watching you.
That seems a little jittery.
Is there any tangents of your sandbat or Polynesian legends to Jackson have written down the god of the black wind? Is that just bats or wings related?
No. That doesn't sound familiar. Lots of snakes and bats in this one, I'm afraid. Lots of snakes and bats.
Is it always vermin? Like, why is it always scary animals?
That's a good question. I mean, well, to be fair, there's a lot of similarities between some of the creatures that we've some of these mythological beings from Polynesia and other ones. I know that there's cults in your own Louisiana here that worship different creatures as well. As I mentioned, this Cthulhu being. I don't know too much about it myself, but there's some disturbing parallels between the cult of the Sandbat in Australia and this Cthulhu. I think that's how it's pronounced. That's actually why I'm here. I'm doing some research on parallels and the similarities between unconnected cultures.
That actually might help us a bit.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking into, like you said, the god of the black wind, the
Bloody
cult of the
tongue.
bloody tongue. We think that it might be something along the lines of that there are multiple cults that don't look connected because of their geographical region, but are in fact just one big cult.
Shared dreams.
Interesting.
Yeah, this
Interesting.
one revolves around dreams and masks.
Not entirely my area of expertise, but I do have a colleague in Australia, Professor Dodge. It's my friend David. He would have much more information, I think. He's actually looking after my house for me while I'm here. He would have a lot more information on that. I could write him.
Does he have a telephone?
Oh, calling from here to Australia is not that simple, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. I wish.
Yeah.
But no,
Maybe
letter or
sometime in the
telegram.
future.
There's this book I have that I think would be really useful for you, but it's in my study.
What's the book? Maybe we could get a copy.
So it's a diary. It's actually a diary from a mining engineer. It's Arthur McWhirr was his name. I have these plates. they're all back in my house though. But they would relate. I think that would be really relevant to what you're looking into.
Would there be any way to? I mean, we have a few shipping companies that we're in contact with.
Potentially,
We could compensate you, but you could send them over.
I mean, if you were traveling to Australia, I would say I could make this much easier. But
I have actually been looking into taking a vacation down to Australia, so I might make a pit stop.
well, I will say if you do, I will give you a letter of introduction to David. I will tell him to let you take a look at the plates and the diary and all of the things that go with that. I think you would find that very useful but I'm afraid I just don't have it to reference right now,
That's
unfortunately.
more
think-
than helpful.
I was about to say, I think you're the most helpful person we've talked to in a very long time.
Yeah.
While you're actually talking, a young woman walks in. Bright red hair. Very stunning. And she says, Father, where have you been? You are late for your next lecture. He looks down at his coffee. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, Eva.
Ema.
Don't be too cross with it. It's entirely our fault. I'm afraid we've been monopolizing your father's time.
Well, he is a very busy man, unfortunately, and I do need to make sure that he maintains his schedule.
That sounds perfect. If I take like a napkin, and I assume Oliver always keeps like a pen of some kind on him, so he jots down.
I'm sure your clothes have more than a few ink stains from them. Yeah.
This is a few. I don't know if all of these are ink. That one's a bit too red. I jot down all 3 of our numbers
Okay.
and our names, and
I will say it might be more useful in this particular instance to give him
Addresses?
the
yes.
Carlton,
Mhm,
Ramsey,
mhm,
the
mhm,
lawyer.
mhm. We have that now. I forgot we have a point of
You
contact.
do.
Yes, I will give him Ramsey's address and
And he rises. And pulls out some money to pay for his drinks and says, "If you would accompany me, I can get you a copy of my notes from that lecture, though."
sounds
I would love
perfect.
that.
That would be perfect.
And as you're leaving, and his daughter is like shooing him along and urging him to like get to his job. She says, "What lecture?"
Oh, just a lecture we were interested in getting more information about that he performed in New York a few days ago.
We were otherwise occupied.
Father, you recorded that lecture. You have audio recording of it. You could just give them that.
Oh.
He's like, "Oh,
Oh,
that is right. I did. I forgot. It was recorded."
that is even better. Do you mind if is there a copy?
Yeah. I recorded it for records for Miskatonic. We've made copies of it. We can just give you one of the copies, I'm sure.
Lovely.
That's incredible.
That would be so
Perfect.
helpful.
And as he leads you up to grab it,
What?
It's been here the whole time.
he grabs a wax cylinder from a drawer, checks the date on it, and he says, "Yep, I believe that's the right one." And he hands it over to you. He hands you the wax cylinder and says, "Yep, no, you can have that."
Much
That's
obliged.
incredible.
Of course. It was a pleasure meeting all of you.
Likewise.
If there's any...
Indeed.
Miss Click, please let me know if there's anything the Guggenheim needs or anything I can assist with in your
Will
research.
do. Thank you so much. 35 cents.
And if you'll give me a second, we will end this episode with the recording of Dr. Cowell's lecture.
Before they leave, just real quick. Excuse me, Professor.
Yes.
I just wanted to extend an opportunity for me to somewhat repay you for what you've done for us today.
Okay.
If you happen to be free tomorrow evening, down in New York, I'm hosting a show. You see, I'm a singer. I'm a lounge singer.
Okay. Yes.
And I'm hosting a concert of
Hmm.
sorts, and I would love for you and your daughter to come. Just to settle your kind nature.
I would be honored. I will see if I'm available. And if we are,
Absolutely.
we will definitely make the drive down.
Sounds wonderful.
Thank you so much.
As we leave, Oliver just goes, like, he's examining the wax cylinder, and he goes, "You wanted him there or just his daughter?"
I don't know. I'm leaning more for the daughter.
Yeah, I saw that look in your eyes.
I mean, did you see her hair? It was on fire.
Love, you know damn well that she is not my type.
She
Good for
turns
you,
and
though.
walks away.
Okay. And as I said, we will end this episode with the recording of Dr. Cowell's lecture.
From the University of Sydney in Australia.
Sorry, Professor, we missed part of that. Could you start again?
Right. Hello, or g'day as we say in my country. I'm Professor Anthony Cowles, a guest lecturer from the University of Sydney in Australia. I hope you folks will bear with me tonight. Folks at the uni have asked us to use the earphone to record tonight's lecture. Or next day. Tonight I'd like to, I'll be discussing the cult of darkness in Polynesia and the Southwest Pacific. So, to begin, I'd like to start with the Marshall Islands. Could you advance to the next slide, please? Thank you very much. So, here we... Problem with the recorder. It'll just have to try to keep up. So, then, another of the cults in this region is an Aboriginal belief in a god known to them as the Father of all bats. In this primitive form of worship, the believers are thought to have made human sacrifices to their god, and in doing so they became worthy to receive a visitation by the Father of all bats, and once this god was enticed to appear, he would conquer all men. The sacrificial victims were run through a gauntlet of worshippers who struck them repeatedly with a bat. Sorry, I don't mean that kind of bat. I mean a cudgel or a club. And this club was embedded with the sharp teeth of bats. The teeth were coated with a poison somehow derived from fermented bat droppings. Apparently, victims went mad before they died. It's said leaders of the cult could take the form of bat-winged snakes, and this enabled them to steal sacrifices from across the land. Now, my evidence suggests this cult's gone extinct or dormant at any rate, and these rites haven't been practiced for hundreds of years. However, if we look to the southeast, the song cycle mentions a place where enormous beings gathered somewhere in this region of Western Australia. The songs say that these gods were not at all like men, and built great sleeping walls and dug caves, but living winds blew down the gods and overthrew them, destroying their sleeping places. When this happened, the way was open for the Father of all bats, who came overexposed, but in this slide, these men are standing near what could be interpreted as a carved stone of megalithic proportions. If you look here and here, you can see markings that could be some kind of decoration. Unfortunately, Mr. McWhirr's party, who found these megaliths, were assaulted shortly after the discovery. Interestingly, the report given by Mr. McWhirr suggested the death of one of his men came from hundreds of small punctures, thus bringing to mind the abandoned practices of the Sandbat cult. Authorities made this from this region here, near the Arafura Sea in northern Australia. The legend tells of the Father of all bats engaged in a battle of wits with Rainbow Snake, the Aboriginal deification of water and the creator of life. Now, Rainbow Snake is no dummy, and he traps Sandbat and his clan in the depths of a watery place from which Sandbat can only complain but remains unable to trouble the people. Thank you. Now, before I take your questions, I just want to make sure that we got all that on the recording. Is it all right, Daniel?
Yes, Professor, we... Oh, wait. Let me check the...
that is where we're going to end tonight's episode. As you all travel back to New York to entertain one Miss Erica Carlisle, potentially look into the unfortunate case of Hilton Adams, and investigate the Juju House.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations to our giveaway winners. You will be announced in the Twitch chat. And thank you all for tuning in to episode 6. We'll see you in 1 week with the penultimate episode. So have a good night.
Should be together while worlds do us apart. But the way I feel won't get me through the night. You and I must be together as shadows do collide. Whispers and tongues, your dressing gown waits for your return. You and I will fall 100 floors to embrace God's honest truth. You and I, you and I. You and